to the top, and then you go to design and quick layout. And that's my quick layout. It's my favorite one. You realize you get to the chart title, click on all this stuff. Yeah, also, I'll show this again real quick. You got all these options, you got so many cool things, it's so nice.
Gary! I was just looking for the sports channel, Gary.
Hey everybody, good. Muted it just in time. Awesome. I had the stream going in the background, and I think I knocked my camera. I gotta move the camera a little bit more to the side because there's more of this. I had the stream going in the background, and I was like, oh no, because I was getting everything set up for office hours. I was like, okay, gotta move this screen, and you would have heard the audio doubling over because I've got the computer audio going through. Good to see you here, Sarah, and I think it was Jacob are here, and we just gave out some points. We usually give out points for the first people here. If you're here a little bit early, you can grab some points. But what questions do we have? We've got the visualizations. We've got the My Pearson. What are we going to do to start off? I don't know what accent I'm doing. I'm not trying to do an accent. It just happens. But we appear to be live. There was one time, it's story time with Brian again here, right here, while people ask questions. You can be like, hey, Brian, works on My Pearson. Can you help with visualization? Well, yeah, let's do visualization 3. Why not? I like that. You bet, Sarah. Of course we can. There was one time I was streaming getting visualization 3 as we talk. So I thought I was streaming. And so I proceeded to talk to class, and I talked for like 5 minutes, and no one was really responding. And this was like an actual class. And then someone said, Brian, when is class going to start? And I was like, what? Class is started. Hey, how's everyone doing? And there were like people in chat. I realized I had never clicked the stream button on YouTube because there's a bunch of, you got to click buttons. And so I spent 5 minutes like just talking to myself. I still remember that. It's pretty. I love streaming, but I couldn't. If I had to train someone on this, I'd be spending a long time. Like there's a lot of steps. There's a lot of intricacy to it, and it's really a process. Like you build it as you go. You don't learn how to stream in a day. So you don't learn how to do this in a day. You don't learn how to do coding in a day. You don't learn how to do a lot of different things in one day. So let's go ahead. I'm back looking at the chart here. I've got the visualization up and go. So let's hop over here to the visualization screen. Let's do this. Okay, we got the visualization up. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see it. I don't know why it changed the screen right there. So the main things we're going to make right here are Mosaic plot and side-by-side box plot. Cool. Okay, let's bring this over to a Word document here. I think I closed on all the other Word. Oh, you got so many Word documents open. Still got yesterday's. Should have turned off the computer. Let's talk about these visualizations. 2 seconds. Class is not over. Okay, yeah. 2 seconds. I'm taking a screenshot of it. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, starting with streaming class. Yeah, I could probably do a class on it. I could probably do that. There's a lot to learn. It's a lot to learn. So with this, you know what? Truthfully, hey, Victoria, how are you doing? Victoria, you took 201, right? And did you take 320? And Victoria, 201 at least, right? Good to see you here, Victoria. I'm 99% certain. It's so much harder when I see names now because I'm like, I know that name. I'm pretty sure Victoria was 201 last semester, right? Victoria can tell you that Mosaic plots is a keynote we should have about Mosaic plots. Like if I were to tell you, let's put here pass and fail. Yes, Victoria, so good to have you here. Thank you. Good to see you in the chat, Victoria. It's easier when like students come to office hours and like I see someone's face. Like I know this is office hours, but if I see someone's face like in person, I can be like, oh, hey. And then if like, but now it's all off of names because we're on the internet. So I have to be like, Victoria, I know Victoria. Hope your semester's going well, Victoria. Which test would you rather take, Victoria? Would you rather take test A or test B right here? Would you rather take test A? Like, Brandon just came back. I'm still in Texas with my fiance, but hopefully I'll be coming back by to see everyone. My office is looking really nice, they're saying. They let me keep my office. So as soon as the world gets a little more back to normal, I'll be flying in. That'll be really fun. I want to do like a stock and barrel night, like buy like 20 stock and barrel burgers and be like, the first Victoria wants to take test A. Look at that. Test A. If you notice, given someone took test A, This is a conditional distribution now. Conditional distribution means we set a condition like, for the students who took test A, what do you notice about the students who took test A, Sarah? What do you notice about the students who took test A? And this is a mosaic plot. And then we'll talk about what types of variables this is. We're kind of learning what is a mosaic plot right here. So what do you notice about the students who took test A? So we're talking about a mosaic plot to start. It wants certain things on here, but what is a mosaic plot? So what is a mosaic plot? What's the deal with mosaic plots? So it's going to have it's a bivariate display, so it's going to have an X and it's going to have a Y. So it's going to have an X variable and a Y variable. Test A, you go to class and take notes to see. We could say student A and student B. We could change it to student A and student B. And we should definitely change it then. We should go over here and we should Victoria, that's so awesome. I like that. So now we got student A versus student B. There we go. There's student A versus student B. Student A versus student B, and we notice that student A has a higher probability of passing, which means it's associated. Like we're saying like a type of student, like the student who goes to class, takes notes, asks questions when they have it. Those are really just good practices in pretty much every class, and especially this class. So you're more likely to pass. If you notice, I kind of raised the probability for that group. So conditional probability increases. Like, what do I mean by conditional probability? I'm setting a condition right here for, just gonna drop the pen. I'm setting a condition as in, given you are student type A, given you are student A. So would the amount of students A failing be right above? Exactly. This little tiny sliver right here is the amount of student A's failing. And I'll mark it green, that might be easier to see. And this is the amount of student B failing. It's not like one student, it's like a type of student. We're saying like we have like class type B where students don't attend, or student type A. Does this make sense here? Like we have 40 students here and 38 of them passed the class and 2 of them failed the class. We have 40 students here, very similar kind of distribution. And here I'll draw it even bigger. Because truthfully, we probably don't have that many student Bs. Sorry, student Bs, don't be like student B, be like student A. So if you look at this graphic now, down here at the bottom is a display of how many A versus B students we have. Does that make sense that there's more A students in the class, like type A students? So there's more type A students. And then within this would be the type B students who fail. Oh no, we made that pass last time. Yep, let's still make it pass. This is the type B students who pass, and this is the type A students who pass. And it's kind of like stacked bar charts. So these are type A students who pass. These are type B students who fail. And these are type A students who fail. So you see there's very, very few type A students who fail. We can put over here fail right here. Oftentimes you get a little thing like this, which shows you the univariate display of pass-fail overall, and it'd probably be about here-ish. So this right here is actually a univariate display. So let's kind of make sense of this. What do we have going on with a mosaic plotter here? This is a mosaic plot. Very important we know what a mosaic plot is before we make one. A mosaic plot is going to, yes, Victoria. We're writing a paper on this, and I was telling people that Pepperoni Pizza Club is like the favorite quote from last semester. It totally is. I love seeing it. I saw the chat. I was like, yes. We got new quotes this semester. Sarah can show you some of the new quotes if Sarah knows them, but we got some new quotes. We got new quotes. We got a lot of new things. So I might show some after this. But I want to point out some, I'm still always working. Always. I'm going to leave the quotes as many semesters as we go on. If we can put 1 million quotes in here, I'll try to reach it. And people will be like, this quote's from 40 years ago, Brian. We don't even use the internet anymore. It's just a neural link. Oh God, the future's scary. Future's scary. New quotes. I see some new quotes. How many variables? How many variables? We got some Among Us quotes. How many variables are in a mosaic plot? 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 Very important thing we should know. Ooh, Victoria, is that yours? Because I mentioned that to someone else too, because were you the one who said that during class? How many variables are in a mosaic plot? Because the person who gave that quote said I made their day when they're like, I'm just happy that I said that and then made my day to say that. and then became a quote. It is yours. I thought it was. I definitely remember when you said that, Major Day. That's when I realized quotes were so important to this class, by you saying that. So you're a big influence on how many quotes we have. There's only 2 variables, Sarah. Don't worry. Just don't worry. Like, this is when we get to class and we're going over this, you'll be like 2 variables mosaic plot. So that makes it a what display? Since there's 2 variables, we call it a bivariate display. What are the 2 variables here? We have type of student, and we have whether or not they pass fail. So think about this. You would need to ask someone 2 questions. You'd say, are you student A or student B? That's one question. Like, what type of student are you? One question. And then you'd say, did you pass or fail the class? That's a second question. So you would know kind of what region, thank you so much, Victoria. You'd know what region they fall into. So what goes with a mosaic plot is a contingency table. So a contingency table is also a bivariate display of data. And I want us to think about this right here, because this is the last thing we need to do, and then we're going to make the graphic. We've got right here pass and fail, and we've got here student A and student B. And you can add, we could do more with this table. We're just going to do a simple version now, and I need to put the A and B above. More traditionally is above. A and B. So when people answer this, for student A's passing, we would have maybe, there's a total of, let's say, 50 students here, and only 2 of them failed and 48 of them passed. There's a total, how many student B's do you think there are? Oh, Victoria, thanks. You're always welcome to swing by, Victoria. You're always welcome. Anytime you see us live, you can join in Kahoots. Hey, oh yeah, you came in second in all the Kahoots. I do remember that too now from last semester. Everything's slowly coming back to me. Like you always had a strong showing in the Kahoots. And actually, I mentioned you, if you watch one of the teaching motivation videos I put out on what we're doing, I do mention that you get mentioned because I say there was a student who came in second who, like a lot, like did really well. And so I give him a prize. So, oh, Victoria, it's awesome. I'm so glad that, yeah, but like second all the time is awesome. Like a lot of people always try to get on the leaderboard, but you were right there in all the Kahoots. You can join in. Hey, you know, if you win all of them, I might be like, okay. But you can join in, and I'll let you win one. Like maybe if you win one, I'll give another prize to someone else. Like I'll do an additional prize. I'll do that. So, how many student B's do you think there are? How many student B's do you think there are? I want you to take a look at the graphic, and oh, totally, that'd be awesome. Sarah thinks the win will be sus. I love it. It's a good review. I want people to remember statistics. So hey, if you want to come in and review. Are they, yeah, pretty much around that time, 3, 4 p.m. Look, I'll try to make the links long enough. So if you look early Friday morning, you should see a link to it. And we're also playing more Among Us, it looks like. Like people enjoyed Among Us last week, so I'll try it again this week. And if we get enough people and people watch it, like if Among Us has like me and one other person playing, which you can't really do, then I'd be like, eh. Like, I mean, it's like you're like, hey, let's play soccer. And like one friend shows up and you're like, oh, we can kick the ball back and forth. So. Would there be so there wouldn't be 50 student B's because, and take a look, good, like this is how we learn, don't worry. Like you're here practicing, I want you to look at this, and there's no exact answer, like this is just an estimate, but I want you to look at this because that's actually a univariate display. So this gives you like the percent of A and B's. Can you see there's more student A's? There's more A student, like type A students than type B students. So about how does it look? Like in other words, 50, this right here represents 50, this length of this, like the width of that. So then we need to figure out for this, green kind of works, like what that number would be right there. Does that kind of make sense? Like the width of that bar represents how many there are. So we're kind of, there's no perfect answer because we're just kind of visually conceiving this, but the width of the bars represent a univariate display of how many student B's there are. So I've got some numbers in my head. Yeah. So what's a better answer? Because if you understand how to look at the graphic and what it means completely, then it's like, okay, I understand what it's trying to tell me. And then the test is super easy because you're like, okay, that's what this graphic means, and you can read it completely. So what might be a better answer? I've got a range I'm going to accept of answers. Ahood, yes, and Maddie, yes. My range was 20 to 30. So Maddie, great job. My range is 20 to 30. 25 might be the perfect answer because it looks to be about a 2 to 1. And Ahood, excellent job. I'm so good to see you, Ahood. There's no perfect answer to this. Let me, yeah. Oh, remember, I'll make people mods during class. I don't make people mods during this, but because anyone can join this. But I'm so glad people are here and answering, and so good to see you, Hood. Also, let's take the difference here. We're going to go 27. There's no right answer to this. There's no right answer. How many student Bs do you think failed? How many student Bs do you think failed? So now we're looking within student Bs, which represents this right here, and I probably should have put pass fail the other way. But within student Bs, how many do you think failed? Oh, thank you, Ahood. How many student Bs do you think failed? Because we're looking, does everyone understand how this is within student B? Like the two things I've highlighted right here. This will help us understand how to read it. Awesome, Victoria. Nahood, you're welcome to come by anytime too and play Cahoots. It's we get this like, bye, Victoria. Have a great day, everybody. It's awesome. I'm gonna hit random buttons. How many student Bs do you think failed? Like the more you practice this, the more you can read it, you're like, okay, that's that right there. We can see how close our graphic looks in a second. Let's see, 18. It looks to be about a 1 to... It might be 1 to 3 ratio. Yeah, that's good. 18 or 20 is good. Sorry, I didn't come up with a range of answers before I asked it. I'm gonna do 19 and do the between of the two numbers. I think 19 is a good answer. So 19 student Bs failed. That means that 8 student Bs passed. And now we can go across here, and there's 56 total students who passed. So right here would be 56 students. Like this right here is 56 students, and then here's 21 students. So this would be 21. That looks about right, doesn't it? Because this right here is a univariate display of these numbers. And sorry, I have them reversed right there, like because this is the pass, and so the pass needs to be for those. Is this kind of making sense right here? What you're seeing, that across here is the univariate display of this. Across here is the univariate display of this. And the table goes along with the mosaic plot. That's why I'm doing a mosaic plot and a contingency table. So you've got the two go together. I like to say they're best friends. They go drinking on the weekends. They're buddies. So what we can do now is I'm going to go open a new jump spreadsheet. You don't really need to know how to do this because we usually give you data. It's not a bad skill set to have. But I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so I can get it on the screen at one time. Yeah, it's going to be a little small. There we go. And let's show how to turn this into cool. Okay, so what we need to do here is we need to go grade, and we're going to go pass. You don't need to know how to do this. Pass, fail, fail. And then we're going to go student type. And we're going to go A, B, A, B. This is not part of the visualization. Then we're going to go frequency. This stands for frequency. You just type FREQ, that's what it stands for. But so in total of students, it'd be 77. Yeah, great job. There's 77 total. Yeah, actually, you know what? Sarah, excellent work. I gotta remember how to add points quickly to, you know what, Sarah? You just earned everyone an extra 20 points. It's easier for me to add people 20 points. I don't have it in the copy paste. 2 seconds. Sarah earned some points for everybody, so we're gonna give everyone 20 points. Just also for the great participation right here. I appreciate, and if you're watching this later, remember, watch live, get some points. Everyone gets 20 points right there. Great participation. Because I didn't put the grand total, which we usually put on these. You'll see it in the graphic, but there is a grand total right here in the bottom. So we didn't add that, but that is something we should add maybe. We won't have to do these by hand, but if you practice drawing them out by hand, it just can help with understanding how to do it. Okay, so the student A's who passed is 48. The student B's who passed is 8. Please tell me if I make a mistake on this. We'll see in the graphic if I do. Student A's who failed is 2. Student B's who failed is 19. Now we're going to go and do the following. Analyze, fit by y by x. We're going to see if the grade is explained by the type of student. Does everyone notice right here when I say, does the type of student explain why someone gets a certain grade? I like to read it this way, like almost like a circle. Does the type of student explain why someone gets a certain grade. This is what we want to understand. We want to understand the grade someone gets, and we're going to see if the type of student explains it, and we have to put this in the frequency. This is when you do it by frequency. The other one's going to be a little bit different for visualization 3. Let's go ahead and click OK. And it did shift the way our graphic looked. I'm going to minimize this real quick. The numbers are the same, but it just put the bars in a different order. I would say this looks pretty similar though. If you notice, it just flipped the way the pass and the fail are. Like if I flip this graphic, does everything look? I mean, great job. I think we did an excellent. I just wish I had put it right side up. I wonder if I relabel. If I relabel pass fail, I want it to look just like it because I think we did such an excellent job. Give me 2 seconds. Let me go here and go to redo automatic recalc. Let me grab that table, which we still have up. And let me change fail, because it does alphabetical, I think. A, B, C, D. So this needs you first. Let's call this 0 pass. Cool. And let's call this 0 pass. I am so proud of us. I just changed it alphabetically the way it created it. How similar does our graphic look to what we created? How similar, like everyone tell me, close, not close, like how did we do in visualizing this and creating a similar looking graphic? Like I think we did an amazing job at kind of estimating these numbers and understanding the differences and then being able to kind of say, well, in relationship to A and B students, in relationship to pass fail. I think it's very close. Yeah. I'm in your asynchronous section. I'm confused on where we need to watch live. No, Justin, great question. Thank you for asking, Justin. You can watch the live streams to help supplement your material, and you can always come in to ask questions. So if you're stuck on an assignment or you want to learn more stuff, the big thing you need to do is the modules, though. You get graded for doing the modules, and you can always come by for live learning. You are not required to, though. It's just extra. It's just there to help. And then the start of each week, you don't have to watch office hours, but I give advice at the start. You can watch it, yeah. I did the lecture election that was due yesterday and took notes, but watching you do this, this is beyond. This is chapter 3. Yep, and so that's the thing. Like, so Sarah, great question right there, Sarah. If you never want to watch live, if you're like, I've got work, I've got this, Brian, I can't be tuning in at these times. I thought this was asynchronous. Why do I have to watch live? Nope. Watching live is only bonus, and you can also do the flashcards in the asynchronous too. So someone could get 102 in the asynchronous class and never watch live. So you could do all the flashcards. You could get the highest possible grade and never watch a single live thing, and that's with bonus. So the asynchronous is set up to get you bonus. So no, great questions. Does that make sense, Justin? This is just like supplemental, like I'm here to help, like kind of like it's just like office hours. And then I wanted to give people, because I think asynchronous is really working for some people. Some people are learning the material really well, but then some people might get stuck. Awesome, Justin. Thank you so much. And if you're joining a live stream during class, like via the class buttons, I can mod you. Yay! Okay, so let's look at right here. We want to create a contingency table plot using this right here, and we're going to use social views and gender. So did he tell us to take a random sample to start? Let's go look at it. Take a random sample of, can't even say, 200 plus the last 2 of your UTID. So we're actually starting the visualization right now. So here we go with the visualization. We're going to go to tables subset. So we're going to tables subset. And then under tables subset, we're going to take a random sample of 200 plus the last 2 of our UTID. So 2, 7, 8. Make sure it's the last 2 of your UTID. Now, a big thing is close this down right here. You probably want to save this as like visualization 3 random sample. So please notice that this should say your random sample size. So make sure, and we'll show again, go to tables, subset, and take a subset of 200 plus the last 2 of your student ID, and you should see in the bottom corner, 200 plus the last 2 of your student ID. Once you've done this, close down the other one. So I already did it earlier, and then go to File, Save As, and I would call it something like Visualization 3 Random Sample. So you could go back to it if you need it because the random sample will be different each time. So what did the random sample do? It randomly took rows. So you can see right here, this random sample has row 1, row 5, row 6, and these are the original row numbers. These are the new row numbers, but previously these were the row numbers. So now we need to create a mosaic plot. So to create a mosaic plot, should I do distribution or fit y by x? And let's think, distribution is only going to do one variable. Oh, it even says univariate. If you can read that little text, it says univariate. And fit y by x, it says between two variables. So if I'm doing a mosaic plot, which of these will I do? Which of these will I do if I'm doing a mosaic plot? If I'm doing a mosaic plot, what am I going to make, a univariate one variable display, or is a mosaic plot a bivariate display, which might also have the univariate displays included in it? Which of these do I want to do, a univariate or a bivariate display to make a mosaic plot? Because I can do a distribution, fit y by x, and that's a bivariate because it's like a y and an x variable, so it's a bivariate display. So we go here to fit y by x, and why are some of these red and why are some of these blue? This is something we should always know really quickly and jump. Like this is red, that's blue, like age, like how old are you? How high is your GPA? Like how much is your GPA? How many pets do you own? How much do you spend on your pets? How many hours a week do you spend reading? What is your major? What do you know about your Roth IRA? It's an opinion on it. It's kind of like, do you have one? Do you not have one? What is your status for broken a bone? What is the order in your family? What is your status for Greek life? What is your status for your distance from your campus? If you notice, a lot of these are what questions here, the red ones, like what is your status on student loans? What is your status on smoking weed? What is your status on economic political view? How many languages do you speak? How many hours a week do you work? Notice I keep saying how many for each of these blue ones. The blue is what? And this is a big review right here. This is all review help. And we should understand what the screen's telling us. The more we understand each screen, the better off we are. Boom, Maddie, great job right there. And then if you notice, we have one identifier right here. It is blue, but identifiers are special categorical variables because they're unique. So the original row number will never repeat. Does everyone notice here that it's a never repeating value? It's a kind of unique identifier for the data set. And great job, Maddie. Maybe we'll give out some more points here at the end. I try to give them out the start and the end, only 20 points. I'm not going to break the point economy this semester. So to make a mosaic plot, I need to grab two what variables. This is a key learning concept right here. Definitely write this down if you don't have it. Mosaic plot and contingency tables use two blank variables. Mosaic plots and contingency tables use two blank variables. And I'll give the hint right here. And I'm not doing the right variables. I'm doing different variables than you'll use. That way I'm not making the same exact graphic. So don't do the exact same variables I'm doing. Close, Sarah. Close, Sarah. You got, and yes. Close. Take a look at this right here. What do you notice about these? Mosaic plots and contingency tables use two, because think about the question we were asking. We were asking what type of student are you? What type of student are you? And what was the status of your grade? Not like how much was your grade, but what was the status of your grade? Did you pass or did you fail? Are you student type A or are you student type B? So mosaic plots and contingency tables use two categorical variables. And since I answer questions when there's few people, but no, everyone's doing great right now. Everyone's following along, practicing, and you should have that note. Mosaic plots and contingency tables use two categorical variables. So we can see right here, categorical. Yep, two categorical. Excellent job right there, Sarah. And so here it is. Here we are with whether or not somebody is in Greek life and how far away they live from campus. What do you notice about people who are in Greek life? They're a lot more likely to do what? And what's really interesting, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something interesting right here. I'm going to take this variable right here. Sorry. I'm going to make it an ordinal categorical variable, which it's not right now. Let me fix it. Ordinal, because truthfully it kind of is. And value, you do not need to know how to do this. So on campus is the closest. Then the fort. And then under a 10-minute drive, apply OK. Analyze fit y by x. This green one is now a ordinal categorical variable. You do not need to know how to do this. I'm going beyond this. We're going to see if your distance from, we're going to see if being in Greek life explains your distance from campus. So now it changed the coloring a little bit. So here's the students on campus. People in Greek life are more likely to what? People in Greek life are more likely to do what? And as you go up this scale, you're further away from campus. So you kind of see something right here. People in Greek life, these are your Greek life individuals, which there's about a 1/3, 2/3 splits, like 1/3 of people are in Greek life, and 2/3 of people are not in Greek life. If you look at the distance here, they're more likely to be on campus. Exactly. Exactly. Great job, Colton, right there. What do you notice? These are the people who live really far away, like the 30+ minute drive and a 10 to 30-minute drive. Rarely do you see, and it's very hard to, we can go down here to the table. We're going to remove some of this information, and I'll show this because this is in the visualization. It's going to be pretty long right up there. So long, table. I might have to vanish myself. There we go. Okay. So people who are in Greek life, there's only one individual, this one person right there. That is one person right here. But then up here, these are 18 people. Does that make sense that you're seeing the people who are not in Greek life and there's 18 people? Is this all making sense to everybody that these 18 people are these? How many individuals are right here? Can anyone tell me this area I've shaded, how many people are right there? That represents how many people? This is where we're understanding what the graphic is and the output is. That represents how many people right there. That is how many people. This shaded area. I'll give you a hint. You ready? There's the hint. Wait, does it not say it? I thought it did. It tells you the percentage. That's 34.91%. But it's Greek life, no, and people who live in the fort. So that would be these people right here. That's those people. There might be a way to make stuff up here. There's so many options you can add on. But does this make sense that these are these 59 people right here? These are the 50 people right here. Like as you go across, you can go to each one of these. Like this 37 is this. We're within the no right here. So I think there's only a few things we need to add to this. Let me reappear because I'm going to do the visualization the way you should be doing it right now that we know how to read the graphic. It says include the total and the column percentages. Oh wait, remove the total and the column percentages. So it wants row percentage in there. Row percentage is the only one we'll have. So here is what it should look like. So here's row percentage. And you remember that 34.91%? There it is right there. So this is what you should be seeing right here. So Sarah, if you're following along and you're doing the fit y by x, you should only have the count and the row percentage. So the row percentage is going to show you within this variable right here. And if you notice, 40% of people in Greek life live on campus as opposed to about 30% of people. So there's a lot more people who are not in Greek life. Is this making sense right here that we can easily tell 40% of people who are in Greek life live on campus versus a little less than 30% of people who are not in Greek life live on campus? So a big shift in kind of the percentages who live on campus. And you can also see people who live like a 10 to 30 minute drive or a 30+ minute drive are usually people who are not in Greek life. We rarely see people in Greek life live more than 10+ minutes because you can kind of make this into a 10+ minute group. There's 23 people here and there's one person here. So there's definitely an association, it seems. I wonder if it's statistically significant. It is statistically significant. Let's see if we need anything else about this graphic. Here it is. Take a screenshot of both, insert into your Word document, include a short write-up of the row percentages of the cells, discuss if there's any practical difference between these. Okay, so what I've been discussing right here, and you need to screenshot this. If I was doing this as my project, that would be my screenshot. And technically, I'm gonna go right here and go to rows, clear row states. I'm so blind. Where's clear row states? There it is. So my screenshot is going to be this. I'm going to go right here and screenshot like that. I want to make sure to get this right over here on the side because this is the univariate display. And my screenshot is good to go. And this would be my display. Let's talk a little bit about the write-up right here. Table's pretty big, but we got it. So what's something I should comment on? It's said to talk about the percentages and what's a big thing I was mentioning. So I need to mention these percentages. I need to say, when looking at the Mosaic plot, it appears that there is an association, everyone's going to write this now, between being in Greek life and how far someone lives from campus. What is it not like? Oh, I didn't even see I repeated that. Oh my gosh. So right here we see all this and how far someone lives from campus. One clear indication is that people who are in Greek life have a 40.37% probability of living on campus versus people who are not in Greek life have a 29.59% probability. Additionally, we see that 23 people who are not in Greek life, hopefully the grader wouldn't get mad because I'm switching percentages, live more than 10 minutes from campus. And I'm talking about, just so everyone sees, please slow me down if you're like, what are you talking about, Brian? I'm talking about these individuals. You could add up the percentages. I might just, the grader should know. Please, if you see any weird grading, like if the grader for some reason takes off points and you disagree, just talk to your teacher, talk to me. I think this is perfectly fine. We see that 23 people who are non-Greek life live more than 10 minutes from campus because we're combining together these groups for the 10 plus minute drive, as opposed to only one person who is in Greek life lives more than 10 minutes. So we can contrast this with only one person in Greek life living, living more than 10 minutes away from campus. So I think this would be an excellent interpretation right here. It goes through the numbers. You're giving numeric data to back what you thought at the start. So we're saying we think there is an association, and one quick way to tell if there's an association is to look right here. The gaps between the blocks, the further they are apart, the stronger the association. So when you have mosaic plots, if you see small gaps, like when is an association strong enough? And you'll definitely see this going through the practice. This would be non-existent. This would be weak. And there can be more blocks if there's more groups. This would be moderate. And this would be strong. This is not how it always is, and I'm just trying to put words to what we see in graphics. But does everyone see, like, when the gaps are bigger, so weak to strong, but the bigger the gaps between the blocks, the bigger the difference between how X and Y have a relationship, the stronger the relationship is. So you can see it goes weak on the left side when they're pretty level to stronger. So how might we describe the one we see right here? Is this a very strong? Is it a moderate? Is it a weak? How would you maybe describe it with just words? We haven't even talked about statistical significance, which we don't get into yet. But would you say this is non-existent? Or non-existent, how does non-existent need to look? Which, that one is technically non-existent because they're perfectly flat. It's exactly even, which is rare to see. So what would you say? Is it more weak, moderate, super strong? How would you describe this one? Like there's a moderate. The bigger the gaps between the blocks, the stronger the relationship. So you try to see, does it look like this or does it look more like more gaps? What do people think? I'd say, Jacob, great answer right there. Great answer, Jacob. Kind of moderate. Yeah, exactly. There's no perfect answer. We're just we're just trying to use words to describe a graphic, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of moderate. There's something going on. So you could add that in. You could say, it appears there is a moderate. Yeah. If it was bigger, you'd say strong. If it was super close, you could say weak. Are we looking at the colored boxes or the lines? You're basically looking at where, do you see how this right here, like I'm trying to show, like, are there gaps between each of these? Like if you connect where they would line up, is there gaps between them? If these were to be like, if this box were to be perfectly flat with this one, which I can't draw, if these boxes were to be perfectly flat, then like if that was where that box went up to, that would be very weak / non-existent. So if that box, like I'm trying to draw an extension of the blue box, if it were to line up with it, it'd be weak non-existent. Does that make sense, Sarah? But meanwhile, there's this gap right here between them. And this gap is this like distance right here that they're apart. So the bigger the gap between them, the stronger the relationship is. And this is just doing ones with less levels. Yeah. So you see this one has a huge gap on the far side where this one has no gap right here. So there's no relationship because it doesn't matter if you're on what variable A or B, it wouldn't tell you. So think about like test A, test B. Where would it matter most if you took test A or test B? Where would it matter most if you took test A or test B? So all of these are like pass, fail, test A, test B. Where would it matter most? Would it matter in graphic 1, 2, 3, or 4? Where would it matter most with taking test A or test B? Where would there be the strongest relationship between taking test A or test B and passing? And so if you followed this thing, we've super reviewed mosaic plots, and you should have the mosaic plot in a good interpretation. You should be like, oh, mosaic plots are a bivariate display of categorical data. Where would it matter most? Like your passing or failing matter most if you took test A or test B? In which visualization would it have the strongest? Kind of gives away the answer. The strongest relationship between, oh, I took test B, and that means, well, it's much more likely you passed. It would matter most in graphic number 4. Because in graphic 1, nice job, Colton and Sarah. In graphic 1, it doesn't matter if you take test A or test B, your probability of passing, failing is the same, like the same amount of students pass and fail. So there's like no relationship. We should put like no relationship. Like technically this is like no relationship. It's super weak. There's nothing going on. But there's something going on up here. There's a large enough gap. Don't worry, we're not going to ask you when the gap's large enough. It's just the bigger the gap, the stronger the relationship. And for any statisticians watching, we did look and see that it is statistically significant, but we don't get into statistical significance yet. So this would tell us that what we saw is unlikely by random chance. So let's do the other graphic right here. We got more than enough time. Let's talk about that other graphic we have. The other graphic we have is create side-by-side box plots using Graph Builder. So with side-by-side box plots, we have here whether or not someone's in the honors program. So what kind of variable is honors program yes, no? And what kind of variable is how many credit hours you take? So we have credit hours and honors program. That means we have a X variable here, which will be like, does being in the honors program explain how many credit hours you take? That's a Y. That means it's a bivariate display. And the X variable is going to be a what type of variable? What type of variable is the X variable? Like there's 3 types of variables. There's 3. There's quantitative, there's categorical, and there's identifier. So honors program is a what type of variable? Whether or not someone is in the honors program, like you're in the honors program, yes, you're in the honors program, no. So we know side-by-side box plots are bivariate now. We've learned that by saying there's 2 variables. So you should be like side-by-side box plots are a bivariate display where we have a categorical, nice job, Sarah. They're a categorical variable. And then what do you think the other variable is? How many credit hours are you taking this semester? So this means that the other variable is going to be, nice job, Colton. The other variable is going to be quantitative. You know, it makes sense. We should have done red for the, I'm just going to switch where the pens are at. Because this is how Jump displays them. They display with red and blue. So that's categorical. Quant, exactly. So we can make a similar display right here. We're going to go to Graph Builder. And let me see here. You have the option to make the box plots horizontal and vertical. You need to click the icon to create the box plots. Make sure the 5-number summary text box is selected. Also click Done. Take a screenshot. Insert. Include short write-up. Okay, we're good. Let's do it. Let's hop back to our data set. What are we going to make sure we're using right now? We're going to make sure we're using our random sample. Make sure you're still in your random sample that we took earlier. I can't state that enough. And then we're going to go here to Graph Builder. And then you're going to take the ones that you have. You're going to take the ones that you have. So we're going to take a categorical variable. I'm going to put it here on the X. And you notice we get the different groups. And this is just a univariate display right now. And then I'm going to take, this is not the same variables you'll be using. Do not do what I'm doing right here. I'm going to take the credit hours, which we will be using. What number is credit hours? No, I'm going to take weekly hours someone works. And let's do a box plot of this. So you just drag them onto the proper settings. I'll show it again here in a second. And then you click box plots up here. And here's the box plots. And these are how many hours people work based on where their distance is from campus. And we should have the 5 number summary box. Boop. Ooh, that's a lot of info. Huh. Let me click done. And I'll remake it. I just don't like how crowded this graphic is. Well, I guess this way. Maybe I'll do less groups because yours probably will look better than mine. Okay, that's starting to... Good. I don't want it to crowd it too much. Looks better. I'm going to remake it. Let's remake it. Let's go to graph. I'm going to do a 2 variable for display now because yours is more like that. Let's go here to born in Tennessee. There we go. We put this on the X, born in Tennessee. That's a categorical variable on the X. And then we're going to go here to your high school GPA and we'll put it right here. Then we're going to click the box plot button and then we're going to click the 5 number summary right here. Not that bad. We're going to click done. Then we're going to stretch the graphic and there we go. Boom. We could do, should we make this graph more pretty? What do you think? I'm always about making graphs pretty, and there's tricks you can do. The graders should be fine with it. The graders should be fine with it. This is what's required. Do these box plots look similar to each other? Do these box plots look similar to each other? There's some more outliers on the born in Tennessee box plot. You'll notice that ooh, look at this. How did I not catch that person? There is an individual here who's the minimum of not born in Tennessee, and they have the lowest GPA. So there's an extreme outlier there. I definitely mentioned that in my write-up. So here, let's do a write-up of this. Let's do the write-up. Let's do what we should mention. You know what we can do also before we take this picture? We can go right here and say box plot of high school GPA by born in TN. You don't have to change that, but it just looks nicer than it's saying graph builder. Just, make graphics look nice. Here we go. Nice clean screenshot. Please email me if you need any questions on those. And let's hop here to a Word document and describe it properly. Okay. So we've got our picture in here. And what is a comment we could make? First, box plots show us the 5 number summary. The 5 number summary is best understood with the following. If you take 4 quarters, your 5 number summary is going to be the lines between them. So let's draw some lines right here. We got a line, a line, a line, a line, a line. So now let's label these. With this, going up in percentages of the data, what would we call the highest percentage of the data? This is the easiest way to remember the 5 number summary. If you remember to do it this way, you'll always get it. Just put 4 quarters down and then draw your lines. Boom. What is any mark on here? We should know the 5 number summary pretty quickly after we do this, like a few times. Like, oh, the highest number is called the what? And the answers are all up there. The highest number is called the what number in the data set. Within a group, the highest number will be called the this. What will the highest number be called? The highest number is the blank for any sort of like box plot or group or 5 number summary. The maximum. The lowest number is called the what? I mean, these are the easy ones. The minimum. The middle number is called the median, the 50th percentile. And then what could we possibly, because these are all quarters, what could we possibly come up with for an idea for this spot right here and this spot right here? These spots are called, and great job everybody in the chat right there, Leslie and Jacob and Colton and Maddie, so good to see you all here, Q1 and Q3. I want you to think about why those are called Q1 and Q3 though. I want you to just, nice job Maddie, and then the distance between them is the IQR. So the distance between these is the IQR, like the distance of the middle 50% is the IQR, because that's the interquartile range. Oh no, Leslie, you're right on track, because we do use those to find the IQR. What is the formula, Leslie, for the IQR? So the formula for the range is max minus min. So if you want to find the range of a data set, You can do this right here. Why do my colors keep changing, even though it shows blue is selected? That's the range of the data set, which is max minus min. So what is exactly, Sarah? Yep. Does that make sense that you can just take max minus min and that's the range, or you could take Q3 minus Q1 and that's the IQR. So the IQR is just what's the range of the middle 50%. It's like a smaller range. So think about what IQR stands for. The interquartile range, the range of the interquarters. Does that make sense to why it's called like the interquartile range, the range of the middle 50%? It's just a distance those two numbers are apart. So you just do big number minus small number, and it gives you the range of those that distance. So now that we understand what is being displayed up here, we can talk about it a little bit better because that's what's showing us up here. So let's talk about it. We got more than enough time here, and we'll have done all the visualizations, and we'll be way ahead on lecture. Time rewind. Okay. So when you look at this right here, what is one thing you immediately notice about this? Both groups have the same medians, which means they have the same center. So let's comment on that. The medians for both groups of students is identical at 3.8. The IQR, which measures, let's put the medians, which measure the center. Yeah, I don't care about grammar. Grammar's important. Which measures, what does IQR measure again? IQR is a measure of what? IQR is a measure of what for each group? What is the IQR a measure of? Is this the third? Yep, this is the third. No problem, Leslie. This is the third. We did first and second yesterday, and we're going to complete all of third today. I've got other videos helping out with them too, but whenever people want in office hours, and we've been just kind of learning about the visualizations and learning how to read them and stuff. So really good. You're right, Jacob. And so is it a measure of center, spread? Is IQR about the shape, center, or spread? Is IQR about shape, center, or spread? Exactly, Leslie. Great job. Look, come in, answer question. It's spread. IQR is a measure of spread, and we'll be covering that Wednesday and Thursday for both Stat 201s. The IQR, which measures the spread for both groups, is 1.5 for students not born in TN and 1.4 for students born in TN. This is very similar. Does everyone notice right here how I'm calculating those? I'm just taking the distance between these numbers. So this is a distance of 1.5, and that is a distance of 1.4. So I'm just subtracting those numbers to get the IQR for those groups respectively. The only key difference I see is that the born in TN group has a lot more outliers with a high maximum of 5.0 and a low minimum of 2.6. With that said, there is one extreme outlier for the not born in TN group, which is the minimum having a value of what? So what is the minimum for the not born in TN group, which is, I'm kind of highlighting that this group has a bunch of outliers, but this one has like one extreme outlier. Like there's a lot more outliers in the born in TN group, but there's one extreme outlier in the not born in TN group. And what is its value? Because I'm gonna cite its value. And I'm gonna point to something key about these visualization assignments, which you should know. What is its value? Oh, I want more coffee. Oh, more coffee. I always want more coffee, though. I'm out of coffee. I'm out of coffee. 1.8, exactly. It's raining, everybody. It's sad times. Brian runs out of coffee. Boom. So, what do you notice I'm doing throughout this whole report right here? What am I doing throughout this whole report? I am citing the numbers. I'm basically drawing this picture for you without you having to see it. Like, it's like you could read this and it would explain this graphic. So, if I'm to talk to someone about this, I could say like, yeah, the distributions are mostly similar. They have the identical center of 3.8. They have a similar spread for the data noted by the IQRs of 1.5 and 1.4 respectively, no yes. But there's small differences in the outliers where we see the yes group has an abundance of outliers. It also has the maximum in the data set, and the no group has one extreme outlier. But I've kind of painted the picture with what I've said. And this goes over the shape, center, and the spread of the distributions, which, you know what is interesting? Brings us full circle back, if I find the right one, to what we did yesterday. So if you're wondering more about shape, center, spread, because we're about to end office hours here soon, we covered a lot on shape, center, and spread yesterday. And so office hours are a big help. We do all these topics in class. We're actually ahead of class in office hours. But yeah, so really good stuff. And you notice, look at this box plot. We got a box plot up here from this. There's a box plot up here, and look at the extreme outliers on this right skew. What questions are there? We're ending here in like 3 minutes. I'm gonna go answer some emails. We got class coming up. Class at 1:10. What questions are there? This is not visualization 3 anymore. This is visualization 2, I think. This is visualization 3. And I think we did everything. Let me double check the visualization just to make sure before I say like, we've done it all. And we talked about all the graphics. I include a short write-up of the key differences you see between the two distributions. And we talked about the shape, center, spread of them. I think we've done it. We have done it. Any questions from anybody? Great job, Colton, Jacob, Leslie. You know what? Let's just throw some more points. I like to do it at the start and the end of class, or the start and the end of streams, to be like, hey, let's just throw some 20 points to those viewers. Feel free to check your points right now. I'm just taking questions. Let me hop into space right here while I do this. Space. You're welcome, Leslie. I appreciate everyone being here, practicing your work. Add 20 points to the viewers. You're welcome, Jacob. Do we need to include our names in it all? You put your name at the start of it. I don't think graders should take off if you don't include your name. It's just a good way to help make sure people aren't plagiarizing. Please don't plagiarize. Great job, Leslie. Leslie all the way at silver tier right there. We're just barely, this is kind of the technical, like 1 week in, and people already have almost 500 points. So you only need 3,000. Green screen, what are you doing? I gotta work on my green screen. I don't know. Is that on? It's that light. I'll fix it. Let's put on some nice music. We'll end with a nice song right here. I think I gotta learn my like nice music. I like this song. Nice and chill music. It's time for your questions. So please relax. You're welcome, Maddie. End of stream. Brian needs to fix his green screen. You know what I might do? I know why that's happening. If you see this line right here, that's actually the window. There's a window that my green screen covers, and it puts light through. So I'm actually going to put something there. I'm going to put something. I wonder why it only goes at the bottom, though. That's so weird. I need a room. It's the studio we taught from in Haslam. I was like in a professional studio where the walls have been painted black and there's no windows. I do miss the studio. I miss Jason. Let's get back to Tennessee here, everybody. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's go to Stock and Barrel and eat some burgers. It can be a bean burger if you want. Vegetarian, I'm cool with that. So, but support local businesses. We're all about that here. This is Brian just promotes his favorite things in Knoxville. Try some Hard Knocks pizza, some Taste of Thai. What else is really good in Knoxville? I'm gonna grab some lunch after this. Nothing as good as Hard Knocks pizza, though. Anyone else got a favorite Knoxville business to plug right now? People really like Adopo pizza, which I think it's okay. It's like, It's pizza, sourdough pizza. I mean, I guess I just don't like sourdough pizza that much, but they make good quality stuff. So this is like everyone's different tastes. The weirdest thing is I just ramble right here is I used to hate mushrooms. This is random time with Brian. This is the random music. Jeff County is a bit of a drive, but you have a Pals. Oh, Pals. Everyone knows Pals. Kingsport, Johnson City area. Pals is awesome. I think we just lost the guy who made Pals, didn't we? I think we did. Really sad right there. But Pals is good stuff. Get some cheddar rounds. Is it cheddar rounds? Get some peachy tea. All that good stuff. Jacob, good plug right there. Pals is good stuff. How far of a drive is it? Well, we're going to play the real sad music ending right here. But if you have never had Pals and you are new to Tennessee, new to Knox, if you are new, you should check out some Pals. I'll be getting some Pals when I come back to Tennessee. But for now, we're ending the stream. I'll see you in class. Bye for now, everybody. Bye for now.